Excellent, finally onto painting. So I've sanded the timber down with 120 grit sandpaper. So the first thing we're going to do is apply the shellac knotting primer to the knots. Use a cheap brush for this, and actually the brush will go hard, but you can use it again and again. Just really work that into the knot right there. That will take about half an hour to dry. You can put the second coat on. That will probably take another half an hour to dry. Then you can go straight into the primer coat. Now I'm going to show you how to put the primer coat on first, but obviously we're going to mix it so that you know what the ratios are. In good old-fashioned, yeah, this is one I did earlier. We've got another one here which is ready to be painted. Now we've got a measuring jug here. You can do that in lots of different ways, whichever way works for you. As a rough guide for ratios, about 50% of paint mixed with 35% of raw linseed oil, or about a third, and about 15% of balsam turpentine. So give this a really good stir. And then we're going to use about 100 ml there. So we're adding about a third of oil to that, with a little bit of balsam turpentine. As you can see, I'm quite liberal with those measurements. They're not set in stone. It's just to make sure that the paint is nice and thin for the first application. Give that a really good stir. And then with a brush of your choice, and we'll have a look at that in the next video as well, what kind of brush that you can use. Now I quite like quite small flat brushes because the oil is really quite thin, so I'm just using actually a window brush for this, but for this purpose that's fine. A little bit of paint on your brush, and just really then start to work it into the paint, into the timber. Nice cross sections. And then really just finish it off with nice long brush strokes. Now I'm not going to do the whole timber here, piece of timber. You get the gist. But what it should really look like once it's dry after the first coat is actually something like this. So it really goes very matte and it goes patchy. So areas where the paint is really soaked in will be very matte, and other areas where it's a bit more glossy is where the oil sits more on the surface. That's completely normal. In the next video, I'll show you the next two coats.